Welcome to the Reality Revolution. And today we're going to talk about one of the most important topics that can possibly be discussed. And that is the choice of love over fear. And right now in this moment, we as a planet are being given an opportunity to make a choice. This choice flows into every moment of your life with every breath. You're being given catalysts, opportunities, and experiences. You're given powers and abilities. And with these new abilities, you're being given a choice of how to use it. Will you choose love or will you choose fear? It's not complicated. It's a choice between two worlds, the old earth and the new earth. Right now, you're standing at the edge of two worlds. One pulsates with fear, anxiety, and division. It's a familiar landscape of conflict and separation that we've navigated for millennia. The other world shimmers with possibility, radiating love, unity, and boundless potential. This is the precipice we find ourselves on right now, at this very moment in human history. We are witnessing the birth pangs of a new earth, a reality shaped not by the old paradigms of fear and scarcity, but by the transformative power of love and abundance. But here's the kicker. This new earth isn't some far-off utopia or a predetermined destiny. It's a choice. It has not occurred yet. Your choice, my choice, our collective choice. We make this choice with every song we choose, every book we read, every show we watch, everything we do, every vote. And with each choice, the new earth is being born right now in the crucible of our everyday decisions. Every time you choose compassion over judgment, cooperation over competition, or understanding over assumptions, you're laying another brick in the foundation of this emergent reality. Dolores Cannon discusses a future that she discovered through many different hypnotic sessions where her clients would explore past lives and had an extended knowledge of the future and past. That there would be a point where the new earth would split into two planets essentially. And the people of the new earth will be moving along and the people of the old earth will suddenly realize, what have we done? This is really happening. I can see it. And it's all about what you choose as to which planet you end up on. Think about it. In every moment, you stand at a crossroads. Will you react from a place of fear, perpetuating the cycles of conflict and separation? Or will you respond from a place of love, opening up new possibilities for connection and growth? These choices might seem small, significant even. A kind word to a stranger, a moment of patience in traffic, a decision to listen deeply to someone with a different perspective. But these micro choices are the very fabric of our shared reality. This episode is an exploration of this choice, this critical choice between love and fear. I am sure that you had to make this choice at some point today, and most likely multiple times today you've had to choose love or fear. It's a roadmap for those moments when the path isn't clear, a toolkit for building resilience in the face of challenges, and a source of inspiration for those times when choosing love feels like swimming against the current. But let me be clear. This isn't about ignoring the very real problems in our world or pretending that everything's perfect. It's about recognizing that how you approach these problems with fear or with love fundamentally shapes the outcomes you create. It's about understanding that we have more power than we realize to influence not just our personal reality, but the collective reality we all share. Are you ready? Ready to become a secret agent of unconditional love in a world that often feels dominated by fear? Are you ready to explore the edges of your own capacity for compassion and connection? Are you ready to play a part in birthing a new earth? The choice is yours. The choice is now. Love and fear. Two primal forces that shape your experiences, your relationships, and your very reality. But what are they really? How do we define something as vast and profound as love, or as visceral and immediate as fear? Love in its purest form is unconditional. It's a force that expands, that opens, that says yes to life in all its messy, beautiful complexity. Love doesn't come with a scorecard or a set of demands. It's the sun that shines on everyone, regardless of who they are or what they've done. Love is empathy, the ability to step into another's shoes, to feel what they feel, to see the world through their eyes. It's compassion in action, reaching out to soothe pain, to offer support, to lift others. Love is the recognition that we're all connected, all part of the same wonderful universe. Now, fear, that's a different beast altogether. Fear is conditional, always asking, what if? It's the voice that says, I'll love you, but only if. Fear is self-protective, building walls instead of bridges. It's the instinct to isolate, to separate ourselves from perceived threats or discomfort. Fear whispers that we're alone in a hostile universe, that we need to look out for number one, that we only should be loving ourselves. It's the lens that turns differences into dangers, challenges into threats. But here's the thing. Both love and fear are deeply woven into the fabric of our daily lives. They're not just abstract concepts. They're the undercurrents shaping our every interaction, decision, and reaction. Imagine you're walking down a busy street. You see someone stumble and drop their groceries. In that split second, love might move you to stop and help, to connect with a fellow human in need. Fear, on the other hand, might urge you to keep walking, worried about being late or looking foolish, or picture yourself in a heated argument with a loved one. Love could guide you to listen deeply, to seek understanding, even in disagreement. Fear might push you to defend, attack, or shut down. These forces aren't just psychological, they have profound effects on our biology, our neurology. When we're in a state of fear, our bodies flood with stress hormones. Our hearts race, our muscles tense, our focus narrows. It's brilliant for escaping predators, not so great for building relationships or solving complex problems. We live in a second density body that has been shaped and crafted by utilizing certain triggers that are a part of our evolution. And these triggers always used fear to protect us. But we are moving to a new earth when we have to move and shed from the old limitations of our biological second density bodies to move into a higher density existence. Now, love, by contrast, activates different neural pathways. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and dopamine, which makes us feel good. Our heart rate variability increases, a sign of emotional resilience. We become more creative, more open to new ideas and perspectives. Over time, these states shape our brains. A person who consistently chooses love over fear will literally develop more neural connections in areas associated with empathy, emotional regulation, and higher order thinking. Someone habitually operating from fear may strengthen pathways related to threat detection and reactivity. But here's the kicker. We're not slaves to these responses. Every moment offers us a choice. We can learn to recognize when fear is driving us and consciously choose to respond with love instead. It's not about suppressing fear, it's a vital survival mechanism. It's about not letting fear be the autopilot for our lives. Understanding these forces within us is the first step in harnessing their power. It's about becoming aware of the internal landscape, the push and pull of love and fear in our daily experiences. The awareness is the key that unlocks our ability to choose, to actively shape our responses, our relationships, and ultimately our world. Let's zoom into the microscopic level of your day. Every minute, every second is crackling with potential, alive with choice. It's like you're standing at the helm of a ship, constantly adjusting your course, through the choppy waters of life. Each adjustment, no matter how small, is a choice between love and fear. And here's the kicker, most of the time we're not even aware we're making these choices. We must navigate to the new earth, but we must do it by making these choices. Think about it. You wake up in the morning and your partner has left dishes in the sink. Again, in that moment, you have a choice. You could let annoyance take over, muttering under your breath about inconsideration and laziness. That's the path of fear. Fear of not being respected, fear of being taken advantage of. Or you could choose love. You could take a deep breath, remember all the wonderful things about your partner, and either do the dishes with a heart full of love or have a kind, open conversation later. Boom, decision point navigated. These decision points are everywhere, peppered throughout your daily life like stars in the night sky. The coworker who interrupts you in a meeting, the driver who cuts you off in traffic, the friend who cancels plans at the last minute. Each of these moments is a crossroads, a chance to choose love over fear. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're in a grocery store and the person in front of you in the checkout line is fumbling with their wallet, taking forever to find their card. Fear might have you tapping your foot impatiently, blood pressure rising, mentally cataloging all the things you could be doing instead of waiting. Love, on the other hand, might have you offering a smile, maybe even stepping in to help if they seem flustered. It might have you taking a deep breath and using this unexpected pause as a moment of mindfulness. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sure, that sounds great in theory, but in the heart of the moment, it's not so easy. And you're right, it's not easy. But here's the thing, it gets easier with practice. Each time you choose love over fear, you're strengthening those neural pathways we talked about earlier. You're training your brain to default to love. And these small choices, they add up. It's like compound interest for your soul. Each loving choice builds on the last, creating a momentum of positivity that can transform your life and ripple out to affect everyone around you. That smile you offered the harried cashier, it might be the kindness that turns their day around, leading them to be more patient with their kids when they get home, who in turn might be kinder to their friends at school the next day. The butterfly effect is real, and you are the butterfly. So how do we stay present and aware enough to recognize the choice points, the catalysts? How do we tune into the frequency of love in a world that often broadcasts fear on all channels, on all apps? It starts with mindfulness. Just take a few moments each day to simply be, to breathe, to notice your thoughts and feelings without judgment. You don't even have to meditate. Just take a moment, step back. This practice of presence will spill over into your day, making you more aware of these critical catalyst points. Another powerful technique is to create choice triggers for yourself. These are little reminders to pause and choose love. It could be as simple as a sticky note on your bathroom mirror that says choose love, or an alert on your phone that pops up a few times a day asking, how can you choose love in this moment? The key is to interrupt your automatic patterns and create space for the conscious choice. You can also play a game with yourself. Spend a day actively looking for opportunities to choose love. Make it a scavenger hunt of the soul. I love to do this. How many times can you respond with kindness instead of irritation? Just go out to the mall, walk around, and find ways to choose love over fear. How often can you understand instead of judge? Keep a tally if you want. Keep score. Today I scored 20 points where I chose love. Remember, this is not about being perfect. There will be times when fear gets the better of you. Of course it will. When you react instead of respond, that's okay. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. Each time you catch yourself after a fear-based reaction, that's a win. It's an opportunity to learn, to adjust, to make different choices in time. And as you practice this moment-by-moment choice, you'll start to notice something magical happening. The world around you will begin to change. No, the circumstances might not be different, but your experience of them will be. You'll find more joy in the little things, more patience in the face of frustration, more love in your heart for yourself and others. So you must become the master of the moment-by-moment choice to paint your life with the bold, beautiful strokes of love. rather than the gray tones of fear. This isn't just a feel-good story, it's a testament to the power we all hold. Every interaction is an opportunity to create a positive ripple effect. You never know how far your kindness might travel or whose life it might touch. But being a secret agent of unconditional love isn't always easy. Sometimes the person you're extending love to might not receive it well. They might be having a bad day or carrying their own heavy burdens. This is where the unconditional part comes in. Your love isn't dependent on that response. You're not doing it for recognition or reward. You're doing it because love is who you are, not just something that you do. So how do we cultivate this unconditional love? How do we fill our secret agent toolkit with an endless supply of compassion and kindness? Here are a few exercises to get you started. First, try the loving kindness meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and imagine sending love to yourself. Then expand the circle of love to include your loved ones, and acquaintances, and even people you find difficult. Eventually extend that love to all beings everywhere. It might feel awkward at first, but with practice, it becomes a powerful tool for expanding your capacity for love. Another powerful exercise is the gratitude walk. Take a stroll through your neighborhood or park, and with each step, think of something that you're grateful for. This practice opens your heart and trains you to look for the good in the world around you. Also, I challenge you to perform one random act of kindness each day for a week. It could be as simple as leaving a positive note for someone to find, or buying coffee for the person behind you in line. Notice how it feels to extend kindness without expecting anything in return. Remember, being a secret agent of unconditional love is a practice. Some days it will feel easy. Other days it might feel like the hardest thing, but each loving thought, each kind word, each compassionate action, you are tipping the scales from fear to love, and you are changing the world into the new earth, one secret mission at a time. So, agent, are you ready to accept your mission? Are you prepared to don the invisible cloak of unconditional love and venture into the world that desperately needs it? Remember, your impact may often be unseen, but it is profoundly felt. The world is waiting for your love. But it's easy to talk about love and how wonderful it is when we don't even know how fear is being used in our lives. We need to pull back the curtain on one of the most insidious operations in the world today, the weaponization of fear. What I'm about to reveal might shake you up a bit, but remember, knowledge is power, and understanding the tactics of fear is crucial to your mission of spreading love. Fear is used as a tool of manipulation in media, politics, and marketing. It's everywhere once you start looking for it. Turn on the news, what do you see? A parade of disasters, threats, and worst-case scenarios. It's not that these things aren't happening, but the constant bombardment of negative information keeps us in a state of high alert, making us more susceptible to fear-based messaging. In politics, fear is often the go-to strategy. Politicians paint pictures of dire circumstances if their opponents win, or if their policies aren't implemented. They create boogeymen out of complex issues, reducing nuanced problems to simple us versus them narratives. It's divide and conquer fueled by fear. And don't even get me started on marketing. How many times have you seen ads that play on your insecurities? Buy this product or you'll be left behind. Use this service or you're missing out. It's FOMO on steroids, designed to keep you in a constant state of anxiety and dissatisfaction. I'm not saying all media, politics, or marketing is inherently evil. There are plenty of good people in these fields trying to make a positive difference, but the system is rewarding fear-based tactics because, let's face it, fear gets attention. It's a primal response that's hardwired into your brain. How do you recognize these fear-based messages when they're coming at you from all directions? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to how certain messages make you feel. Does reading that news article make your heart race? Does that political speech make you angry or anxious? That's fear talking. Look out for language that divides people into groups, us versus them, insiders versus outsiders. Be wary of oversimplified solutions to complex problems, and always Always question messages that tell you to be afraid of something or someone. I don't care where they came from. But recognize fear-based messaging is only half the battle. The real challenge is maintaining a love-based perspective in a world that often seems dominated by fear. It's like being a lighthouse in a storm, standing firm, shining bright, no matter how rough the seas get. One strategy is to practice what I call compassionate skepticism. When you encounter a fear-based message, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would love say about this situation? Look for the humanity in the story. What are the hopes, fears, and needs of all the people involved? Another powerful technique is to actively seek out good news. For every fear-inducing headline you read, find a story of human kindness or progress. They're out there, I promise. It's about balancing your media diet just like you balance your food diet for optimal benefits. It's that timeline cleanse with cats or dogs. You can create a fear-free zone in your life. Maybe it's a no news before bed rule or a social media detox day once a week. Give yourself space to remember that the world is full of beauty and kindness, not just danger and conflict. But here's where it gets really exciting. We're not just playing defense against fear. We're on the offense, actively transforming fear-based systems through love. And it starts with you, right where you are. If you work in media, can you tell stories that inspire hope and connection rather than division and fear? If you're in politics, can you appeal to joy, to people's highest aspirations rather than their basest fears? Can you lift people up instead of tearing them down? If you're in marketing, can you highlight the genuine value of your product without resorting to fear tactics? Even if you're not in these fields, you have power. You can choose which media to consume, which politicians to support, which products to buy. Every choice is a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. And remember, love is contagious. When you respond to fear with love, you create a ripple effect. You show others that there's another way. You become a living example of the power of love to transform fear. Imagine a world where our media celebrates human kindness and progress, where our politics is based on shared hopes and values rather than division and fear, where our marketing appeals to our desire to grow and contribute, not our insecurities. The world is possible, and it starts with each of us choosing love over fear. Moment by moment, day by day, it's not always easy. There will be times when fear feels overwhelming, but that's why we're in this together. A global network of secret agents of love working tirelessly to tip the balance from fear to love. That's what we're here to do. That's the reality revolution at its most basic level. Picture this, a single thread, fragile and easily broken. Now imagine that thread woven together with thousands, millions of other threads. Suddenly, you have this amazing blanket so strong it could stop a bullet. That is the power of unity and compassion. It's the magic that happens when we stop seeing ourselves as separate individuals and start recognizing our profound interconnectedness. In nature, we see this everywhere. Ants carry 50 times their body weight, but when they work together, they build massive, intricate colonies. Geese fly in a V formation, taking turns at the front to break the headwind, allowing the flock to fly 71% further than if each bird flew alone. Nature knows we are stronger together. The same is true for humans. We can come together, driven by love and compassion. We can move mountains. You don't believe me? Let me hit you with some real-world examples. Remember the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. It started with a fun social media trend, but it ended up raising over $115 million for ALS research. That's the power of collective action. Or how about their global response to the COVID-19 pandemic? Yes, there were fear-based reactions, but there were also incredible outpourings of love and support. People sang from balconies to uplift their neighbors. Communities organized to deliver food to the elderly and vulnerable. Scientists collaborated at unprecedented speeds. That's what happens when we unite in compassion, no matter what is happening. It's not just about big newsworthy events, it's also about the small everyday acts of unity and compassion that weave the fabric of our communities. It's the neighborhood that rallies around a family facing hard times. It's the online support group that provides a lifeline to those struggling with mental health. It's the school kids who stand up against bullying. These examples show us what's possible when we tap into our collective power. But here's the million-dollar question. How do you develop the empathy and compassion needed to fuel this unity? It starts with recognizing our shared humanity. That person who cut off in traffic, they're not just an inconsiderate driver. They're a human being with their own struggles, fears, and hopes. The colleague who always seems grumpy, there's a story there. One that might break your heart if you knew it. Developing empathy and compassion is like building a muscle. It takes practice, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. The more you do it, the stronger you get. One powerful way to build this muscle is through perspective-taking exercises. The next time you're in a disagreement with someone, pause and really try to see the situation from their point of view. Ask yourself how you can bring love into this moment, just for a moment. What might be driving their behavior? What fears or needs might they have that you can't see? Another powerful tool is loving kindness. We talked about this earlier, but it's worth repeating. Sit quietly and imagine sending love and good wishes to yourself and then to your loved ones. This important choice has been discussed in different channels for a long time. First up, there's the law of one. In the law of one, the choice between love, which they call service to others, and fear, which is service to self, is a fundamental part of our spiritual evolution. Bashar describes himself as a multidimensional being, teaches that the power of belief in creating our reality and the importance of aligning with our highest excitement, which is always rooted in love rather than fear. The Arcturian Council offers a perspective from what they describe as a fifth dimensional collective consciousness. They speak about the ascension process that humanity is undergoing, emphasizing the role that choosing love plays in this evolution. Love is the fundamental nature of the universe. Fear is seen as an illusion, a distortion of love that serves as a purpose in our growth. Quo talks on a regular basis about catalyst, challenging situations that prompt us to choose and grow. Bashar describes this as opportunities to align with our highest excitement. The Arcturians frame it as a choice between old fear-based paradigms and the new love-based reality we're creating. Imagine you're a cell in the body of humanity. When you choose love, you're not just changing your own cellular structure. You're sending out signals that influence the cells around you. You're contributing to the health and evolution of the entire body. Every act of love is like turning on a light in a dark room. The more of us who switch on our lights, the brighter the whole room becomes. Eventually, we reach a tipping point where the room is more lit than dark. This is what many spiritual teachers mean when they talk about the ascension or awakening of humanity. It's not about floating off into the clouds or escaping the physical world. It's about collectively choosing love often enough, consistently enough, that we fundamentally shift the operating system of human consciousness. And the beautiful thing is you don't have to believe in any particular spiritual teaching for this to work. You don't need to channel aliens or commune with angels. All you need to do is choose love. Here and now, in your own life. Every time you respond to anger with compassion, you're contributing to the shift to the new earth. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you're helping to elevate human consciousness into the new earth. Every time you act from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you're playing your part in our collective evolution. So the next time you're faced with a choice between love and fear, whether it's in a minor interaction or a major life decision, remember the broader context. Remember that your choice matters, not just for you, but for all of us. Remember that you're not just a passive passenger in life, but an active participant in the evolution of all of consciousness. So I want you to say this with me. I am worthy of love and success. I attract loving opportunities effortlessly. I am a channel for love in the world. Take small actions each day that align the reality you're trying to create with love. Let me tell you a story. There's a friend of mine named John who was a chronic worrier, always expecting the worst. His relationships were strained, his health was suffering, and he felt like the universe was conspiring against him. And he learned about choosing love and the law of attraction and reality creation. I got a chance to coach him, and he began a daily practice of sending love to everyone he encountered, family, friends, strangers, especially people who annoyed him. He started looking for the good in every situation, no matter how challenging. John began to change. His constant anxiety eased. His relationships improved as people responded to this new, more positive energy. He found that random good things started happening more frequently. An unexpected refund, a surprise opportunity, a chance encounter that leads to a wonderful new friendship. The external circumstances of his life hadn't changed dramatically, but his experiences of life had been radically transformed. By choosing love in each moment, he had turned into a new frequency, one of joy, peace, and possibility. If you are listening to someone that is constantly telling you that the world is terrible, that the world is a terrible place, if you are around friends that are telling you all the things that you need to fear and all the things that are terrible in the world, then you are making a choice. Every single moment that you consistently affirm this and agree upon it and vote on it, then you are making a choice. I invite you to experiment with this. Choose love. Align yourself with the frequency of what you want to create. Trust in the process. You might just be amazed at how your reality begins to shift. Remember, you're not a passive observer. You are a co-creator. And love is the most powerful tool for shaping a reality that reflects your highest aspiration. So go forth and create with love as your guide and your fuel. The universe is listening and speaks the language of love fluently. The universe loves love. Yes, when you are committed to the path of love, you're going to face challenges. We're going to have moments of fear and doubt and frustration. We're going to stumble, maybe even fall flat on our faces sometimes. But you know what? That's perfectly okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's part of that journey. Don't beat yourself up when this happens. Remember, we're not aiming for perfection here. We're aiming for progress, for growth, for a gradual shift towards more love-based living. When you find yourself slipping into fear-based thinking or behavior, the first step is simply to notice it. Awareness is powerful. Just by recognizing that you've stumbled, you're already on the path back to love. Now here's a powerful reframe. What if these moments of fear aren't obstacles, but part of the path itself? What if they're opportunities, they're catalysts for you to practice choosing love in increasingly challenging situations? You start to treat life like a video game, and it's fun. And you're getting scores, and you're getting bonus points all the time, looking for opportunities to add love to your environment, to choose love, because every time you do, you are winning the game. It's in the difficult moments where we really flex our love muscles. Take a moment and imagine stepping out of a time machine into a world where love, rather than fear, is the dominant force shaping society. What do you see? What do you feel? How do people interact with each other? How do they relate to the planet? Are they hateful? Do they pick out groups that they hate? Do they parrot misinformation? Spewing bile? They don't. We work together. We work to fix the world. We work to help each other out. We work to lift people up. It's that simple. And when we do, for the whole planet, amazing things would happen. This is not a fantasy. I believe that there are planets like this all over the universe. And we can be one. We're in that critical moment where we can choose to be in one, or we can choose to live in a Game of Thrones type of existence. Dog eat dog, every man for himself. You can form an alliance temporarily, but eventually one or the other will kill each other off, constantly fighting each other. In this world, competition gives way to cooperation. Instead of seeing each other as rivals for limited resources, we recognize our fundamental interconnectedness. We understand that when one rises, all rise. Imagine walking down a street where every pair of eyes you meet holds a spark of recognition, a silent acknowledgement of shared humanity. In the New Earth, our economic systems are based on abundance rather than scarcity. Businesses don't just measure success by profit margins, but by their impact on people and the planet. Imagine companies competing to be the most loving, the most sustainable, the most beneficial to their communities. Imagine a world where how can we serve has replaced how can we sell as the driving question. In the realm of politics, adversarial debate has been replaced by collaborative problem solving. Leaders are chosen not for their ability to dominate or manipulate, but for their capacity to listen, to empathize, to bring people together. Imagine a government that operates with radical transparency, where decisions are made based on the highest good for all, not just the privileged few. So I invite you, I challenge you to fully step into your power as a shaper of your collective reality. How will you contribute to the new earth today? Will you perform an act of random kindness? Will you start a conversation with someone you usually avoid? Will you make a decision in your work based on the highest good for all rather than personal gain? Maybe you'll be inspired to start a community project or shift your career towards more meaningful, impactful work. Perhaps you'll decide to run for local office to bring more compassionate policies to your town. Or maybe your contribution will be the inner work of your healing your own fears and expanding your capacity to love, whatever form it takes. Know that your contribution matters. Every act of love, no matter how small it might seem, is a brick in the foundation of the new earth. Every moment you choose to operate from love rather than fear, you're helping birth this new reality. So dream big. Let yourself fully imagine the world you want to create. Feel it, taste it, and live it in your mind and heart. I am living it now. I'm expressing it to you, and I'm calling you to bring this forth because I think we both mutually want to co-create a hopeful future, a future where wonderful things happen, where we work together, where we solve our problems. Let yourself fully imagine this world that you want to create. Feel it, taste it, live it in your mind and heart. We're not just creating a reality, we're creating a reality of love. And with this vision burning bright within you, within all of us, together, let's step out into the world and choose love again and again and again. The new earth is calling, and you are its creator. What will you choose? Fear or love? You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. I'd love it if you checked out my artwork. You can find it at www.newearth.art. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.